William Byron gets it done out at the Glen. 2 more drivers lock themselves into the playoffs. 1 spot remaining heading into Daytona next week. On-track and off-track drama in the closing laps. And who will be winning this championship this year? And 1 playoff hopeful might be done for the season. Let's talk about it all today on Shifting Gears. I'm Alan Bailey, and before we talk about what happened out at the Glen in New York this weekend, make sure that you mash that subscribe button so that you do not miss a video, including these post-race videos, and make sure that you log on to AmericanRacingNetwork.com for the latest motorsports news. ARN, the Motorsports Authority. And while you're at it, make sure that you log on to DrinkWraith.com, and you can use promo code ALLEN10 at checkout for 10% off your entire order. That includes the starter bundles, the tubs, and merchandise. It's 200 milligrams of caffeine, plus amino acids, antioxidants, 0 sugar, and only 6 calories per serving. You can log on to DrinkWraith.com using promo code ALLEN10 at checkout for 10% off. Join the cult, Drink Wraith. My, oh my, did we just see a race out at Watkins Glen. Welcome on in, I'm Alan Bailey. Live from Southern California so far. Up until the weather hits us, it is raining out here. Hurricane Hillary is hitting the Southern California area. But for now, we will talk about everything that we saw out at Watkins Glen, and let's get into it, because there is some stuff that we do have to talk about. William Byron does get the victory out at Watkins Glen. It extends his victories this season to 5. Keep in mind, he came into the season only having 4 career victories, so he's more than doubled that this season alone. Many people have been wondering, when's William Byron going to have that breakout season? I think he's starting to have it. Whether or not he keeps this up for the next 11 weeks or not, into Phoenix in November, we'll have to wait and see and continue to watch and find out. But Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick locked themselves into the postseason with their finishes out there today, and them having so much points and so many points built up all season means that they are good to go. Bubba Wallace is in that final playoff spot, plus 38 points right now over Daniel Suarez, 42 to the good over Ty Gibbs, with AJ Allmendinger, Alex Bowman, and especially Chase Elliott, all in must-win scenarios going into Daytona, the final cutoff race next week. We will talk about Chase Elliott. I know Chase Elliott fans are running for the bathtub right now. Relax, we're going to talk about it. Martin Truex Jr. plus 39 points to the good over Denny Hamlin for the regular season championship. If that even matters, I know that some people were making a big deal about that, and it is. It does give you some extra points heading into the postseason, but fans simply do not care. We don't. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't, because Chase Elliott won the regular season last year, and look what that got him. Absolutely nothing. I don't care about a regular season. No one does. I want to hear from you. Leave it in the chat, because I'm interested to see what you guys have to say about this. It looks like the stream is back up. This is going to go up on YouTube as soon as we're done here. It'll go up in its entirety. Hopefully it goes up in one piece and peacefully. We will have to wait and see. And we're going to talk about it. The fact that this race was only 1 hour and 38 minutes is a little eyebrow-raising for me. The fact that we have 2 races back-to-back under 2 hours, and the fact that we only had a single caution between both of these races, at Indianapolis Road Course last week and at Watkins Glen today, kind of staggering. But let's get into it. Let's really break down this race. But first, let's go ahead and give you a finishing order here. I had to put the glasses on for that, so let me give you a finishing order here. For the top 10, William Byron gets the victory over Denny Hamlin, with Christopher Bell coming home 3rd, AJ Allmendinger 4th, Ty Gibbs, the rookie, 5th, Martin Truex Jr., our points leader, exiting this race, 6th, Chris Buescher 7th, with Michael McDowell. What? That's not accurate. Why is it showing Michael McDowell 8th? He did not finish 8th. There's no way in hell he's finishing 8th. Now I'm questioning this running order. Why is this showing Michael McDowell 8th? Let me see if I can get you a better result, because that's not right. I'm on NASCAR's official timing and scoring, and it's showing Michael McDowell finishing in the top 10. He didn't. He had a power issue. He was out of his car early on in this one. Okay, here we go. Here's an actual race update for you. William Byron got the victory over Denny Hamlin in second, with Christopher Bell coming home third. A.J. Allmendinger fourth, with Ty Gibbs finishing fifth. Martin Truex Jr., our points leader, sixth, with Chris Buescher seventh. Tyler Reddick eighth. Ryan Blaney coming home ninth, with Joey Logano 10th. Todd Gilliland, Front Row Motorsports, in his 38 car. Impressive run, coming home 11th. I believe that is one of their better finishes of the season. Bubba Wallace coming home 12th, with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. 13th, Kyle Busch 14th, Brad Keselowski 15th, with Austin Cindric 16th, Ryan Pierce 17th. You have Ross Chastain coming home 18th today, Mike Rockenfeller in the number 42 Chevy for Legacy coming home 19th, 20th to Corey LaJoie, Kevin Harvick coming home 21st. We will talk about Harvick. There's an interesting situation that happened with him today. We have Daniel Suarez 22nd on the racetrack, Alex Bowman 23rd, with Justin Haley 24th, Andy Lally in the number 15 coming home 25th, with Kyle Larson 26th, Josh Bilicki 27th, Cole Custard in the number 51 Ford coming home 28th, 29th to Eric Jones, and Eric Almirola 30th, with Austin Dillon 31st, Chase Elliott 32nd today out at Watkins Glen. Ouch. Harrison Burton coming home 33rd, Ty Dillon 34th, Chase Briscoe 35th, and Michael McDowell 36th. Electrical issues is what we're being told on that one. Lots to break down, lots to talk about. Let's kind of go lap by lap, and we will catch up to all these problems when they come up. Let's go ahead and start with this. The fact that the 6, the 17, the 10, the 31, the 51, all to the back for unapproved adjustments. Hamlin starts on the pole. Byron on his outside. It was lap number 4 when McDowell took the lead from Hamlin. Byron went ahead and made a similar move, moves up to the second position. On lap number 5, first issue of the day, Daniel Suarez spins in the bus stop from 10th. He continues to get it going. Quality in the chat, I just saw you come on in. We will go ahead and talk. I'll go ahead and get to the chats here in a second. So leave your chats. What did you guys think about the race today? I know that there is some streaming issues with Kick right now. It's not my internet, so something's happening with Kick. Hopefully it comes back up here very quickly. Quality in the chat. I'm glad Byron at least won. Yeah, a lot of people are, including a couple of people who locked themselves into the postseason. But let's run down everything that happened here real quick. Suarez spins in the bus stop from 10th on lap number 5. Lap number 7, Harrison Burton spins as well in the bus stop. McDowell won stage number 1 over Byron. And then stage 2 was kind of boring. Byron went ahead and grabbed it. Lap number 55, Chase Elliott. This was the big defining moment. It brought out the only caution, full course caution of the race. Chase Elliott runs out of fuel, stops in the bus stop. Byron pits before the yellow. That was key. Let's talk about Chase Elliott here for a second. Wow. Alan Gustafson making a massive mistake. Now, speculation from on the TV broadcast from Steve Letarte was that the reserve tank typically holds about 2 gallons of fuel, give or take, and maybe that's another 2-3 laps at like a Charlotte or especially a Martinsville. But at one of the larger racetracks that the NASCAR Cup Series goes to, with this almost 2-mile racetrack with ups and downs, fuel sloshing around all over the place, you cannot try to go another 3 laps, let alone 2 laps, at Watkins Glen on that reserve, and that's exactly what Alan Gustafson and the team at the 9 car were trying to do. And it failed miserably. This was them trying to get an advantage, trying to stay out, trying to really make that fuel last a little bit longer so that they can be good in the event of a green-white checker at the very end of the race, and it failed miserably. Chase Elliott stopping on the racetrack, losing all that track position, going multiple laps down. I mean, it's literally not a season-ending move, but it definitely didn't help their case. And he wasn't really like the guy. Like, Chase Elliott fans are living in this delirious state of mind where, oh yeah, I'm going to win this race. Oh yeah, I'm going to win every race. Chase Elliott has not been running well all season long. I'm sorry. The 9 team has had flashes of brilliance, yes, but ever since the playoffs started last season, this team has sucked. I will say it, because Chase Elliott fans are afraid to admit it, and I hate to kick you when you're down, Chase Elliott fans, But he's had a bad year. I'm sorry. Going into Daytona next week, no chance in hell. No chance in hell is Chase Elliott going to make the postseason. I'm sorry. He's over 100 points out right now. If he didn't break his legs snowboarding the day before the Las Vegas race because kid just can't realize his season has started and get back to work, then maybe he could have found something this season, and maybe they could have kind of gotten that bad luck post regular season championship out of the way from last year and worked their way towards a potential playoff run, championship run this season. But the guy was an idiot. He went freaking snowboarding the day before a race, and that's the stupidest thing ever. Yes, you can have a life when you're a NASCAR driver during the off season. Don't go extreme sports snowboarding the day before you qualify a cup car. I'm sorry. That's really stupid. And I don't feel sorry for Chase Elliott. I don't. I feel sorry for his fans. I do not feel sorry for him. He's an idiot. He was an even bigger idiot when he turned Denny Hamlin at Charlotte and got himself suspended for a race. And Chase Elliott fans are still up on the hill, the diehards. Oh, that wasn't intentional. He hit the wall. It was broken. Yeah, you know what? He cranked that wheel pretty damn good. Yeah. But Chase Elliott, he's done. Put a fork in him. Hendrick needs to honestly get their ish together. Byron, I was amazed by this today, honestly. Normally, he's a team that runs hot and cold, and they've been running a little colder lately, and they turned up the wick today. Whether or not that carries all the way through the postseason and into Phoenix for a championship, who knows? But we'll have to wait and see. After that lap 55 caution, things definitely changed. Suarez got the free pass. Byron took the lead on lap number 60 when they went back racing. And it was kind of boring at that point. It was a little uneventful because lap 73, Amarola spins from 38th, keeps going, no caution. Lap 75 is when everything kind of went south. Michael McDowell. This is a guy who started in the top 5, was running in the top 5, took the lead, won stage number 1, was honestly in contention to win again today, go back-to-back, which is something he has yet to do, potentially getting his 3rd career victory today, potentially going back-to-back for the first time in his career. And unfortunately, some kind of issue. He pits on lap 75, loss of power, engine issue of some kind. McDowell saying that he was coming out of the bus stop and just simply lost power. It sputtered the lap before, but he didn't think anything of it. Then the next lap, issue, and he's done. Electrical system is what we're being told. Once again, Ford has to get their crap together. Ford having issues on the track and not being consistent. Even an organization that has very, very, very little support was in contention, was their best shot for a victory today, and Ford dropped the ball because Ford doesn't prioritize front row motorsports. I said it. They prioritize Penske. They prioritize Stewart-Haas, and Ford is not happy with Stewart-Haas right now. Ford is not happy with Penske's performance. And I did not see RFK leading with Ford victories this season. I really did not, or at least up there. Penske and Ford both have 2 victories apiece per organization. Good for them both, but Ford is still trying to find some speed right now. That is something that, honestly, they are still lacking, and that consistency. Taking their resources and distributing them amongst all of their Ford teams has always been an issue with Ford, and we're seeing that here. Maybe if front row got a little bit more of that Ford support, maybe this issue wouldn't have come up. We do not know. We don't even know what it was. I think that the folks at front row still don't 100% know what the issue was. They probably won't for a few days, but we're being told it's an electrical issue of some kind. And then after that, it was kind of clean sailing. Byron wins it. Interesting moment between Larson and Austin Dillon coming to the checkered flag. And a lot of people kind of raised an eyebrow and said it was all Larson being Larson. But if you actually look at the replay, Austin Dillon kind of sends it in with 2 corners to go on Larson and shoves Larson up and out of the racing groove. That's for position. And Larson kind of did it to him going into that final corner, and it unfortunately spun them both out, and they both lost track position, and they both lost a bunch of spots. Listen, the 5 cars locked in, he's fine. Austin is being Austin. He's really upset that Grandpa's mad at him because Austin Dillon's lack of talent is starting to show. I'm not saying the guy has no talent. I'm saying he has significantly less talent than most of the people in the field in the NASCAR Cup Series. I think he's an Xfinity driver that, frankly, has a rich grandpa that basically gave him a Cup ride. Won't do the same thing for his younger brother, who has even less talent, but does it for his oldest grandson. Good for Richard, good for Austin. It pays to have a rich grandpa. Cool. But clearly, looking at the disparity difference between Kyle Busch's number of victories this season and Austin Dillon's number of victories this season, the average start position for Kyle Busch versus the average start position for Austin Dillon, the average finishing for Kyle Busch versus the average finish for Austin Dillon, clearly Austin Dillon is not a good driver. He's an okay driver. I would say he is a top 5 Xfinity driver who honestly is running sub 20th every week in the Cup Series. Good for him. If that's how he wants to make his living, pretending to be a reality star, he can do that. He's pretending to be a reality star, and some people think he's pretending to be a race car driver, and that's cool too. But I don't think Austin is a championship caliber driver. Every time he's made the postseason, especially last season when he won Daytona barely and made it in on the walk-off win last year in Daytona, he was out first round because it's Austin Dillon, and it's Austin Dillon. But if you're just joining the stream, William Byron getting his 5th win of 2023 out at Watkins Glen today. Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick, because they have so much points compared to everybody else underneath them in the point standings, have locked themselves into the postseason at this point, and they're good. Keselowski, that means 2 RFK cars into the postseason. That is huge for them. It's a sincere, massive financial disparity payout at the end of the year if you make the postseason versus if you do not make the playoffs. And for Keselowski, for RFK, that is huge. That means ultimately they can start to put more resources into that organization and really expand and do more. I'm not saying they're going to a 3rd car next season. I'm not saying that's even the plan over there. I'm saying that means more resources for those teams. That's better for them. It's especially big for Front Row last week when they made it. For Kevin Harvick, it's his final year in the NASCAR Cup Series. For him being in that postseason, it's huge. More than likely, he's out round 1. More than likely. Prepare yourself for that, Kevin Harvick fans. But then he could pull a Tony Stewart and go into the postseason and turn up that heat and start to win races. I just do not see it happening because they are struggling. Clearly, they are struggling. Bubba Wallace right now is plus 38. Bubba just needs to go into Daytona and simply not get in a wreck. If he can do that, he should be good to go. But he also has to prevent Daniel Suarez, Ty Gibbs, AJ Allmendinger, Alex Bowman, Chase Elliott, anybody who's on the outside who doesn't have a win this season. He needs to prevent a new winner, period. Because if Bubba gets... Well, if the Cup Series gets another new winner, then it means Bubba's out. It means that Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick are in on points alone. But I do not see a new winner coming at Daytona. But at the same time, it's Daytona. Anything could happen. We could go caution-free at Daytona until the last lap. I don't know. It's Daytona. It's literally a wild card, roll of the dice race. It doesn't matter how good your car is. It doesn't matter how good your driver is. It matters, frankly, how lucky you are. Yes, it pays to be a good super speedway racer at Daytona, but it pays even more to be stupid lucky and to be 3rd, 4th in line on that last lap. Who's 3rd, 4th in line? That depends on what the last 15 laps of that race looks like, honestly. And I'm not saying don't watch the first 100 some odd laps. In fact, I'm going to just straight up tell you, it doesn't matter what happens in those first 100 some odd laps as long as you keep your car clean. It matters what happens in that very last stage. So if I'm Kevin Harvick, Brad Keselowski, Bubba Wallace, I'm lagging. I'm in the back for the first 2 stages. And then once that 3rd stage hits, 2 tires, let's go to the front and start to get after it. But we'll have to honestly wait and see when the cutoff race happens next week. Let's get to some of the chat here. Quality just did 30 minutes of karts at work in a heat index of 130. That's fun, bud. Hopefully that worked out for you. I'm glad Byron won at least. Quality in the chat, because I don't know what the hell Gustafson was thinking. Honestly, with that pit strategy with Elliott, I think what was happening is he was thinking we might see a caution. I mean, I myself, when I was doing some sim racing in the trucks in Xfinity, I waited. to pit myself, thinking there could be a caution. Somebody could spin it coming on off pit road, especially on pit road. That could happen. Especially this pit road at Watkins Glen. It's very easy to get into somebody who's slowing down to get onto pit road. So I definitely see his thought process there. I just don't agree with it. Looking at the chat here, Bowman needs to be booted out of Hendrick. I disagree. The guy's still racing hurt. And there's a video coming out on this probably this week, actually, on the YouTube channel. But Bowman, you guys forget, broke his back this season. Denny Hamlin talked about it on his podcast last week when he broke his back in 13, I want to say, when he went straight on into the wall at Auto Club and was airlifted to Loma Linda. The guy took most of the season to get his back right, and he had his incident in March, and he wasn't at 100% until the very end of the season, and even next season, he was still feeling issues. Bowman is hurt. Bowman is still recovering. Bowman is still trying to get the feeling back in his body because he broke his back. And I honestly wish the best for him. I think he's out there because he's trying not to let his sponsors and his team down. If it were me, I would take off I would have taken off most of the season if I were Bowman. That's probably the best move for him, but he didn't. He got back in that thing and strapped himself in, and he's going out there trying to win, trying to make his car and him better. I got to give the guy credit for that. I don't think he needs to be booted. I just think he needs to get through a season without having health issues. And this is the second year in a row he's missed races due to health issues. So he definitely needs to have a clean season. And the guy just lost his dog over this last week. Seriously, like, the guy is not having a good season. I wish him the best. Yeah, but Elliott's been pretty bad. He's had flashes of brilliance this year, though. Yeah, and that's great, but he hasn't stood in victory lane. And I'm sorry, having top fives is great. Closing the day out with a victory is how you have a good day. And that is a flash of brilliance. But running top 5, top 10, that's all well and fine, but ultimately, that's not what Chase Elliott gets paid for. Chase Elliott gets paid to go up there and win the race and contend for championships. And he was a freaking idiot and was snowboarding at a time when he shouldn't have. And I don't care if, these guys should have a personal life. Yes, they should. They should not be doing extreme sports and the middle of the season, period. And I know Alex Bowman's kind of in that camp because he was racing in a dirt car and broke his back that way in a flip, but it doesn't matter to me. You got to keep yourself healthy. You got to know when to go, know what's good for your body. And I do think it's between the team owners and the drivers, and in Chase Elliott's case, he screwed his team out of a potential playoff spot. He's going to lose Hendrick Motorsports and himself a lot of money, and he's paying the price ultimately. And he's pissed. He doesn't have a right to be pissed at anybody but himself. I'm sorry, that's just the case. I want to talk about what happened in the Xfinity race really quick. Boy, let's talk about this. Okay, Ty Gibbs is an ass. I'm sorry. I mean, look at Ty Gibbs in the Xfinity race in the closing laps. Put Sam Mayer in the wall. He put Mayer in a compromised position and shoved him into the outside wall. That happened. Then when the restart happened, Mayer happened to be right behind Gibbs, and he happened to lock his tires up heading into turn 1, and it happened to get into Ty Gibbs, spinning Gibbs around, getting into Austin Hill. I felt bad for Austin Hill. He was the innocent bystander and all that, but listen, Ty Gibbs has bumped Sam Mayer and gotten into Sam Mayer at least 36 times. I'm not exaggerating on that number on the racetrack throughout the years that they've raced. They hate each other. That is a rivalry I cannot wait to see in the Cup Series because honestly, they hate each other. Like, so much, and it's so glorious for us because when guys like that race against each other and hate each other, things get super interesting super quick. And honestly, I am here for it. I think that because Gibbs bumped Mayer into that outside wall, Mayer had absolutely every right to do what Mayer did, whether it was intentional or not. And Mayer's going to sit here and go, yeah, I locked my brakes up. And yes, we can see his brakes lock up. We can see those tires slide. We can see the wheel hop. It's there on camera. Guy's not lying. So either he did that intentionally, knowing that Gibbs was in front of him, or it was unintentional on Mayor's part, and the outcome was 100% favorable to him. Either way, Mayor gets a second victory. Gibbs is pouting about not getting his 13th and not so subtly jabbing it into Mayor's face. Oh, yeah, congratulations on his second. I would have had my 13th, but, good that he has his second. I race on Sunday because Grandpa bought me a race car and fired, that other guy, Kyle Busch, so that I could have the number. And I'm being original, and I'm not going to race the 18 like Kyle did. Instead, I'm going to race the 54 like Kyle did. I'm original. Ty Gibbs is an idiot. He's such an idiot. He doesn't even have an original thought. He doesn't even know how to be the bad boy. He's just an idiot rich kid. And honestly, the fans hate him. I dislike him. Every time I interview him, he comes off like a snotty-nosed brat that legitimately thinks he's doing me a favor talking to the media. That's just the air of arrogancy and doucheness that Ty Gibbs is. And he's got a very punchable face. You got to admit, very, 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 very easy to dislike Ty Gibbs. So I'm here for it. And yeah, Ty Gibbs actually did have a good run. All of Joe Gibbs Racing had a good run, and all of Toyota. Bubba was the lowest finishing Toyota, finishing 12th. And Bubba's not a road course racer. So honestly, pretty damn good little season or damn good little race for Toyota Joe Gibbs Racing, honestly. But at the same time, Joe Gibbs Racing has had this. They've had moments where all of their cars are running in the top 10, the top 5, and they cannot end up in victory lane. This has been the Achilles heel of Joe Gibbs this season. And whether or not they're able to do that this season when it comes to Phoenix towards the end of the year, we're going to have to wait and see. It's fascinating to me how this goes out, how this goes down. But Bubba right now, 38 to the good and 16th for that final cutoffs, for that final postseason spot, I should say. Suarez basically has to win. Gibbs has to win. They can get in on points. Suarez and Gibbs can both get in on points technically. So can Bubba. But AJ Allmendinger, guy ran top 5 and just didn't get it done today. I think the guy's going down to the Xfinity Series next year. If I were him, I'd go down to the Xfinity Series next year. That's something that, if I'm AJ, I don't want to be part of this bad cup program for Kaulig Racing anymore. And that's what it is. It's an underfunded bad cup program. And everybody at Kaulig Racing they're great people. They really are. They do not have the funding. They're continuing to pour millions of dollars into this cup program that isn't going anywhere. Maybe they need to go out and hire better people. No offense to anybody at Kaulig. It's just the truth. Maybe they need to go out there and get more resources. Maybe they need to sign a big name sponsor. Maybe they need to hire a guy who has a big name sponsor, like Black Rifle Coffee, like Wendy's, like a Noah Gragson, if I'm not being bluntly obvious. I do think Noah Gragson is probably going to end up at one of the Kaulig cars. I think that that's the best spot for him. Kaulig needs the money. Noah has some sponsor money. Kaulig has an Xfinity car program that Noah can do some races in, that Noah ultimately can help get that program better. And I think Noah Gragson is actually probably a good fit over at Kaulig, because if they find the funding, if they find the money, if they find resources, they might be able to be pretty damn decent. But right now, this season, you're taking AJ Allmendinger and you're struggling to finish 5th at a road course with AJ Allmendinger. Something's wrong. Something needs to be fixed. And I don't think AJ Allmendinger is going to be along for the ride. I think he's going to ask to go down to Xfinity, and when they say no, he's just going to simply walk away. At the moment, he does not have a contract for 2024 with Kaulig Racing. And I think he's loyal. I think he will try to get into that Xfinity car for Kaulig. I don't think he's going to walk anywhere near a cup car, anywhere near a cup program, simply because he doesn't want to. And why the hell should he? Why the hell is Noah Gragson, why the hell is AJ Allmendinger going to go into a cup program that can't even reliably get him on the podium at a road course? He's been racing bad equipment most of his career, and when he got to Kaulig in the Xfinity Series, he was having a ball, and he thought that they were going to be competitive in the Cup Series, and they aren't. Maybe he gives them one more year, one more shot. Probably not, though. We'll have to wait and see. But I want to hear what you guys have to say in the comments. Let me know down below. What did you think of the race out at the Glen today? Let me know in the comments down below. And since you're there, make sure that you mash that subscribe button And make sure that you also log on to AmericanRacingNetwork.com for the latest motorsports news. ARN, the Motorsports Authority. And by the way, make sure that you log on to drinkwraith.com. You can use promo code Allen10 at checkout for 10% off of your entire order. That includes the starter bundles, the tubs, the merch, 200 milligrams of caffeine, and oh, by the way, amino acids, antioxidants, no sugar added, and 0 sugar per serving, plus only 6 calories per serving. It's an amazing product. Log on to drinkwraith.com. Use promo code Allen10 at checkout. Join the cult. Drink Wraith. Thank you so much for watching. We're going to go ahead and wrap it up before Hillary kicks us off here. Yes, the weather's picking up, and my dog has to go out in this, and I'm not looking forward to that myself. Thank you guys to those that came out to watch the live last night. We were on for like 5 hours, 45 minutes, something like that, almost 6 hours Saturday night, because I knew the internet was going to be spotty tonight. Turns out it's not as spotty as we thought it would be, but it's still pretty. But thank you guys so much for watching. For Shifting Gears Live on Sunday, August 20th, 2023, I'm Alan Bailey. We will see you out at the track. Bye, Gearheads.